Hey, my name is Max. I only know my dad's fancy black BMW from a digital photo album. Getting my driver's license at 18 did not work out as planned. You wonder why? Well, for the last 10 years, there have been no more cars to buy in Europe. Mobility is now a part of the service industry. After an economic stimulus package in 2020 no longer supported fossil fuel-dependent vehicles, many manufacturers restructured their production. They increasingly relied on electricity and other alternatives, and at the same time, reduced their production numbers. The development of autonomous driving was already well advanced. And so, it was decided to convert the entire individual transport to swarm mobility. The easiest way to explain this is to show you how my mobility is shaped today. I live in the heart of the city, as do over 70% of the world's population, and therefore I walk to most of my destinations. Since there is a streetcar in the city, and only about 20% of cars are driving on the road compared to 10 years ago, pedestrians and cyclists have plenty of room. Cars travel within a radius of about 40 kilometers around the city. They have a maximum speed of 30 kilometers an hour, are autonomous, and designed to accommodate 2 to 12 people as needed. Via my personal digital assistant, AMAX, I have access to the mobility that perfectly meets my needs. Individual requirements such as price, time, environmental awareness, fitness, and the weather all play a role here. I usually take the e-bike to university. In order to reach the soccer game against the neighboring town, we can be driven comfortably by 2 autonomous 12-seaters. When visiting my parents, I simply use an e-car to get to the stop on the highway, where many familiar faces are already waiting for me next to a hydrogen-powered autonomous vehicle. I conveniently pay everything with an app. With my flat rate, which my assistant adjusts as needed, I'm always mobile and save a lot of money. I also make a big contribution to protecting the environment. Since many young people thought the same, and it's fun to live mobily together, the average number of people per car kilometer was raised from 1.3 to 4.5, and as a result, the average energy consumption was reduced by about 80%. By switching 100% to renewable energy, which is to a large extent produced by the photovoltaic system on the roof of my residential building, a significant contribution to a climate-neutral city was achieved. But that is only one aspect. Since only 20% of cars still located in the city are almost constantly driving around, thousands of square meters of parking spaces and parking garages have become obsolete and have been converted into green spaces. The city is green, the air is clean, and the birds are chirping again. With the engine noises gone and the city finally being quieter, the newly developed green oases in the city have become the perfect place to relax and to meet people. A city worth living in, and all of this combined with considerable cost savings and a high level of environmental protection. Manufacturers today only have to produce 20% of the cars they used to. Safety requirements decreased, and a more efficient way of production could be developed, reducing both costs and resource expenses. Road expansion to 3 lanes became unnecessary and was significantly reduced. The planned clinic did not have to be built because accidents and rehab cases dropped dramatically. Doctors, nurses, physiotherapists, police, insurance companies, car dealerships, repair shops were able to return to their core business, and in some cases have free resources. But that alone did not solve the climate emergency. My professor told me that the entire world economic system was breaking apart during the year 2020. 95% of air travel was abruptly shut down. The economy came to a halt, and recreational activities were postponed indefinitely. Energy for transportation and traffic was not considered to be a unit, but rather separate factors. Commercial flights were so cheap that instead of spending 14 days on a campsite or on a farm, you could go on vacation in Thailand or a cruise through Egypt for almost the same price. The tourism industry was booming. The world had become global. Every major company was globally active. Thus, business trips in Germany and around the world were normal, and many employees traveled for hours by car or plane. The coronavirus made us realize that not every meeting had to be in person. Once the lockdown was lifted, many companies significantly reduced their national and international mobility. Workspaces and time models were rethought. Home offices, the increase in efficiency due to AI platforms, online meetings, online conferences, and online trade fairs have significantly optimized mobility in the professional sphere. Even at my university, most lectures take place online. My leisure activities have focused heavily on our home country. Leisure tourism and global mobility has leveled off after the slump in 2020 to about 30% of the value before Corona. By using regenerative energies with electricity and hydrogen, we achieved climate-neutral mobility here.